Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. The Chemung County Health Department held a free vaccine clinic for both the flu and COVID. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg takes us to the Ernie Davis Community Center.
The Chemung County Health Department hosted a free COVID and flu vaccine clinic at the Ernie Davis Community Center in Elmira. The clinic administered close to 50 vaccine doses to the local community. Big Fox spoke with Pete Buzzetti, the Chemung County Public Health Director, about the clinic.
We're very happy to be able to offer something like this, especially for those individuals that maybe they can't get to a hospital or primary care physician at the specific time. Or we know that there's a number of people in the community that don't have a primary care physician. Wait times and registration issues can vary if you try to get a COVID or a flu shot at the pharmacy, and we offer it for free.
I'm at the Ernie Davis Community Center where the vaccine clinic is taking place. While I wasn't allowed to film inside the clinic, the volunteers offered me my own flu shot. Lisa Buckley is a registered nurse who volunteered at the clinic today. Buckley told Big Fox that people in the community are very thankful for the clinics. It was hard for some people to get an appointment at the pharmacies, but it was easy for them to come here and have things go smoothly. The Department of Health plans on continuing to offer services and clinics like the one today in the future. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Elmira.
Human remains were found this week by hunters in the woods near Elmira. The Chemung County Sheriff's Department is now investigating the body's discovery. The remains were found in the area of 150 Bowlby Road. The individual was wearing a t-shirt, a pair of black joggers with black size 10 sneakers. Due to the condition of the remains, age and gender of the individual could not be determined. The Sheriff's Department is asking anyone who recognizes any of these details or has any information on the found remains to call the number on your screen. A fresh look at how hot inflation ran in October. Jerry Willis has the details.
The latest reading on inflation showing a cooling in October. Year over year, the Consumer Price Index up 7.7%. Economists were expecting an 8% increase. Month over month, CPI was up 0.4%. That is less than forecast. Still, inflation continues to run near a 40-year high as persistent prices squeeze millions of U.S. households and small businesses.
You can't avoid seeing the prices increase. That's a reality for anyone who's going out living their lives, especially with two young kids. That's a lot of dollar signs that we're thinking about day in and day out.
Even with a slowdown in the inflation rate, it still remains well above the Fed's 2% target.
Let's talk about what's happening when we're near 4 to 5% inflation and how hard it's going to be to get down to 2. That's my concern right now. The celebration's too early.
The stock market jumping on the better than expected data. The market is looking for indications inflation is moderating, hoping the Fed will be less aggressive in raising interest rates to fight inflation. And more good news, used car prices on their way down as supply chain problems ease. In New York, Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
Tomorrow, Dandy gas stations and mini-marts will offer free pizza to veterans. If you're a veteran, all you have to do is show your identification or proof of service at any Dandy location for some free lunch. Veterans can also get a slice of stromboli in replace of the pizza if they'd like. The Twin Tiers Comic-Con is coming back after a 3-year absence. The Arnott Mall will host the 7th iteration of the event this weekend. Special guests at this year's Comic-Con include Butch Patrick, Samantha Ferris, and Ken Wheaton. Single-day ticket prices start at $15. The event starts at 11 a.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. New York City began installing 5G towers in underserved parts of the city. But as Christine Russo reports, some people living in those neighborhoods have questions.
We just don't have no idea what it is. Does it help the neighborhood? Does it help the residential property value?
Marion Little, owner of this Brooklyn hardware store, says he was shocked to see a 32-foot tower seemingly appear overnight right outside of his shop.
It's extremely huge. I mean, it's really huge. It's almost like an eyesore.
Others walking by also confused about the structure.
The first one I've seen in my life. A large antenna. A lot of people call me, email me, text me, like, what is that? What is going on? and I have no answer.
What it is actually a 5G antenna tower installed by the city to bring free, high-speed internet across the 5 boroughs in underserved areas.
When I saw how huge it was and this monstrosity of an installation, I said, what is that?
Over in Fort Greene, Renee Collymore also has questions.
No one came to us to ask us if we wanted it, if we were concerned.
The New York City Office of Technology and Innovation partnered with Link NYC to install 2,000 5G antenna towers over the next few years. A spokesperson with Link says they got extensive community input during the process, like reviews with community boards, and chose specific areas that currently have little broadband.
If they did a community research, with who? Because it wasn't with me. Who did you meet with? And what were the results of the meeting? And why were we not at the table?
Aside from being unsightly and imposing, people also say they fear the towers can be unsafe. However, the city cites the FDA's approval of 5G technology as being unharmful. Ultimately, people say they just wish there was more communication.
We just don't know. That's the whole issue. We just don't know. We have no answers.
In Brooklyn, Christine Russo, Fox 5 News.
A new lawsuit is alleging collusion between Apple and Amazon to help maintain high prices of 2 Apple products. The proposed class action lawsuit accuses the 2 companies of conspiring to raise iPad and iPhone prices on Amazon's website. It claims Apple and Amazon reached an unlawful deal to remove hundreds of resellers who offer discounts. The suit covers Americans buying new iPhones or iPads on Amazon since January 2019. Apple and Amazon haven't commented on the suit. It's time now for Big Fox's Pet of the Week. Today, our Maggie Hall sat down with Panda and his foster mom, Sue, to talk about what Panda's ideal forever home looks like.
So today I have Panda with me. Panda is approximately 5 years old. To our best knowledge, we are guessing that he is a Chihuahua, maybe Min Pin mix. He came in with 2 other dogs. Unfortunately, his family had fell on hard times and reached out to us.
With a crooked jaw and a snaggletooth, Panda does not lack any character.
He does like to play. He plays with the other dogs. He is a cuddle bug on his terms. He's not a huge fan of being picked up, but he will crawl up on your lap.
Panda can be a bit timid and does have a fear of men.
I think the best home for him would be one on the quieter side, maybe another dog for him to play with. He's good with cats. I would say no children, only because he is still afraid of pretty much the world. He's came a long way since being in my care.
He would thrive in a patient, quiet, and loving home.
So to adopt Panda or look at any of our dogs that are up for adoption, you would want to go to www.pawsandpurrs.org. There is also information on there if you're interested in possibly fostering for us.
You could give an animal a home today. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
New data indicates that nearly half of America plans on traveling during the holidays. We have a look at how the airlines are bracing for the busy travel season. Plus, your complete forecast. Stay with us.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Over the last few days, we've been seeing the unseasonably warm conditions build, really grasping onto some of those early fall-like temperatures before we will see winter-like temperatures settle in for next week. Now, overnight conditions still stay very mild. What we'll see is that cloud cover is going to be increasing overnight, capping off those temperatures to hold within the 50s for low temperatures, which does give us a chance to still see above average temperatures for our Friday, as we are expected to climb at least within those 60s as we still have a southerly wind intact. But note that we're going to be dealing with the remnant energy of Nicole. So by the even early afternoon and into the evening, showers and thunderstorms will become widespread in place. Not expecting widespread severe weather, but do keep yourself aware of rumbles of thunder, lightning, and then flooding concerns are going to be in place. So always remember that with the flash flooding potential, that you're going to want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on the roadways, taking it slow. If you see water rushing over roadways, find alternate routes. You do not know what has washed away underneath that roadway and what you could get yourself into, because it is dangerous with rushing water, especially when we have systems like this that is going to stay pretty consistent at least into Saturday morning. Now, from Saturday into Sunday, we are going to have some isolated activity as we watch Nicole's remnants continue to quickly move off to the north, as it has some fast momentum with it along a cold front is going to sweep on through and keep us under some moisture, which is going to bring some isolated activity in it. See that there's also going to be some lake effect snowfall across Lake Erie as well as Ontario. But we'll see that cold air is also going to be taking over with that. It's going to be breezy at times, as we'll see that the winds will be switching. You note that we have still that southerly wind for our Friday, but then it starts to come out of the west-northwest. So that's where you'll create some of that lake effect rain and snowfall, but also see that the cold air is going to be pushing on in. Winds will calm into next week, but we still have that cold air and dominance. So rolling through the forecast, you're going to see that extent of those first rain bands moving in before the lunch hour, and then there will be some breaks in some of these rain bands, but don't let your guard down, especially overnight in the dark hours. That's when some of the heaviest rainfall could push on through the region. Now, generally about 1 inch to 2 inches is what the potential is looking at, but isolated 3 inches is in the mix, and when you get all of that within even just 1 inch in an hour, that can lead to those flash flooding concerns. So keep yourself wary if you have to be on the roadways from Friday into Saturday. Now, as we saw those temperatures hit the 60s on Friday, Saturday we're going to hold within the 50s, still slightly above average, but that cold air will continue to rush in, and by Sunday we're watching those temperatures only into the 40s, which into those overnight temperatures, that does bring the chance for some wintry mix. Not much for accumulation when it comes to that wintry precip, but still a chance. So note that there could be some freezing conditions at times, and then we note that as we see some clearing and quieting into next week, we do stay under dominance of this cooler, more winter-like air.
Consumer prices remain near record highs in October, new policies for Twitter employees, and changes to seasonal hiring. CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
Inflation holding a tight grip on the U.S. economy in October, with prices remaining stubbornly high. The Labor Department releasing the latest Consumer Price Index Thursday morning, measuring the price for everyday goods, including groceries, gas, and rent. The price index rising 0.4% in October from the previous month, with prices climbing 7.7% on an annual basis. Meanwhile, seasonal hiring is expected to drop off this year thanks to inflation concerns. An executive coaching firm that tracks hiring data and trends says seasonal hiring is expected to plummet about 37% this year. Key retailers like Macy's and Walmart are making steep cuts in seasonal workers, while the U.S. Postal Service is hiring only 28,000 temporary workers compared to 40,000 last year. Elon Musk warning Twitter employees that changes ahead for the company will be difficult. The Twitter CEO reportedly sending out a mass email Wednesday in which he allegedly said remote work will be discontinued and employees will be required to be in the office at least 40 hours a week. This coming after Twitter began mass layoffs last week. And Adidas will continue to sell Yeezys under a new name after parting ways with Kanye West. The company beginning its partnership with Ye back in 2013, but recently cut ties after the musician and fashion designer made anti-Semitic comments. On an earnings call Wednesday, Adidas saying they still intend to sell shoes and more with Ye's designs, but have not announced what the new branding will be called. Adidas saying new releases could begin early next year. That's business. I'm CJ Papa, Fox News.
The holidays aren't far away, and that means people will be taking to the roads and the skies. Christine Russo's in New York and reports on the state of travel heading into the holiday season.
People are booked and ready for holiday travel this year. 47% of Americans are planning to travel over the holidays, many of whom will be flying. But are the airlines up to the task?
It's a nightmare to even think about traveling during the holidays nowadays. I have zero joy. I have lost all the joy from my holiday travel.
I flew in August, and yeah, that was pretty bad.
A flight-aware analysis found that hubs Newark and LaGuardia had the highest percentage of cancellations between May and September of this year.
We hear it every day, people going there and traveling and being delayed.
Over the summer, airlines were struggling with canceled flights and delays. A lot of that credited to staffing shortages. But travel experts say actually the airlines learned a lot from that summertime turmoil.
Things like reducing flight schedules, so taking out some of the extra flights that airlines were hoping to add. It's things like making sure they have enough spare parts in case airplanes have some types of maintenance issues. And it's also bringing on more staff.
Zach Griff with The Points Guy says make sure you have a backup plan to avoid getting stuck on the holidays.
Maybe that means that you have a competitor that you may want to ask the airline to rebook you on. Or maybe you have a credit card that includes lounge access, and you know that you'll go to the lounge and ask the lounge attendant to help you rebook.
Travelers at LaGuardia Wednesday say things are looking up.
Honestly, I haven't had much of a problem at all. American's been great.
Meanwhile, Griff says if you want to travel this holiday, book as soon as possible because airlines likely won't be adding any more flights to their schedule. Reporting from LaGuardia, Christine Russo, Fox 5 News.
Still ahead, a baby is treated for a rare genetic condition before birth. We'll have the story of that international medical effort coming up next. Doctors in the U.S. and Canada have successfully treated a baby for a rare genetic disease before she was even born. Gary Baumgarten takes a look at the outcomes from this life-saving operation.
It was a very, very scary and sad time for us.
16-month-old Isla Bashir is living a happy and healthy life, but her future wasn't originally this bright. When she was in the womb, doctors discovered she had a rare and often deadly disorder called Pompe disease.
We found out that Isla had Pompe disease, which is a genetic disorder, glycogen storage disorder, which affects the muscles in basically every muscle in your body.
Medical breakthroughs, though, allowed doctors in the United States and Canada to successfully treat Isla before she was even born, making her the first person treated as a fetus for the disease.
The innovation here was treating earlier and treating while still in utero.
Inserting a needle into her mother's stomach, doctors were able to tap into the umbilical cord to deliver life-saving medicines to Isla.
The idea of in utero therapy was actually something we had talked about even a few years ago. Well, when maybe we would have to treat Pompe in utero. The disease starts in utero. The disease starts in the fetus. There's evidence that the heart is involved even before the baby's born.
While surgeries to fix birth defects like spina bifida have been performed on fetuses in the past, doctors hope the findings from Isla's procedures will create opportunities for new fetal medical treatments in the future. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
It was an exciting night for country music fans as top honors were handed out and many stars took center stage to perform their latest hits, tributes, and collaborations. We have a look at this year's CMA Awards from Nashville with Ashley Dvorkin.
It's country music's biggest night, and we have a recap of the biggest moments here at the 56th Annual CMA Awards.
The show opened with a tribute to late country icon Loretta Lynn, with Carrie Underwood, Reba McEntire, and Miranda Lambert. Then it was kickoff by co-hosts Luke Bryan and Peyton Manning.
Are you ready, Nashville?
The CMAs were a showcase of new and established artists, solo acts, and cool collaborations.
Put on a shine.
Several artists honored Alan Jackson before he received the Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award.
I'm still living that honky-tonk dream, y'all.
Among other star appearances, Wynonna Judd presented Duo of the Year, which she noted she and her mom, Naomi, won 7 times.
These past 6 months have been a time to grieve and a time to be grateful. And I am humbled and honored tonight to still have a seat at the table of country music.
Wynonna then awarded Brothers Osborne their 5th trophy in that category. 5th time was also a charm for Group of the Year Old Dominion.
We try to
make the music connect with the fans, and all of this is secondary until a night like tonight. This is the litmus test that shows us that it's working.
Chris Stapleton.
Male Vocalist of the Year went to Chris Stapleton. Luke Combs won Entertainer of the Year a second year in a row and Album of the Year for Growing Up. Lead nominee Lainey Wilson goes home with Female Vocalist and New Artist of the Year.
It makes me feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I feel like in my heart, the Lord put this dream on my heart a long time ago, and I feel like this is His way of showing me this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm supposed to be sharing my gift.
An exciting night of music for the fans and for these new CMA Award winners. In Nashville, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Stay with us. We'll have more after this. People in Sweden who can't decide on dinner plans are getting some help by just pushing a button. Kaval, a Swedish grocery company, is trying a high-tech method to randomly decide dinner for its users. The system sends a recipe to the grocery store, and 10 minutes later, a bike messenger delivers the meal ingredients. It's not clear if the process has limits or if the app caters to people with special meal needs, like vegetarians or people with allergies. According to The Verge, the company says the program is still in the pilot phase. I'm Jamie Holmes. Thanks so much for watching.